Warning, we are not trained or licensed professionals. Do not take any advice that we give as official doctoral prescribed medical treatment. We only use the name as a means to appreciate cinema as a therapeutic device, not to be confused with drugs, antidepressants, or any other forms of enhancements that you might find in legal states. Please enjoy responsibly.
Additional disclaimer. If the film says we can say it too. So check the film rating, and that will be our episode rating.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. My name is Madison.
My name is Jake, as always.
And today, we are here to discuss the movie Arrival.
Mm-hmm.
Directed by... 1, 2, 3.
Denis
Villeneuve.
Fuck! Okay. It's Denis Villeneuve.
Denis
Villeneuve. That guy.
He's a guy from France. And a lot of people don't know how to say his name, so we had to do some massive research. We looked up a French YouTuber talking about him, and we didn't find any videos of himself saying his own name, so I could still be wrong. But Denis Villeneuve is...
We checked with the reliable source, and we think it's Denis Villeneuve. So.
Denis Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
We're going to just call him Denny.
Denny boy.
Denny boy. And so I have seen this movie a bunch of times and really loved it. And I told Jake that we should watch it, and we just did. We just finished about 20 minutes ago. So here we are to discuss. So what did you think?
I thought it was very good overall. I thought it was good. I'd heard about this ever since it came out because I had one of my best friends in high school was like, Jake, you've got to see this. It's so good. And then I didn't. And then I had one of my best friends in college say, Jake, you got to see this. It's so good. And I didn't. And then Maddie's like, Jake, let's watch Arrival. And I'm like, okay. No hesitation. I'm like, okay. Moral of the story is, unless you're Madison and you tell me to watch a movie, I'm probably not going to listen to you.
Hell yeah. Go me.
Yeah, go you. No, I'm just messing with you. What's this movie rated?
Let me see.
It's PG-13.
Yep. I guess we could start with a recap. So the movie begins with some awesome music. We begin with linguist Louise Banks, played by Amy Adams. We see her and her daughter doing all these mother and daughter activities, and we discover that her daughter dies as a preteen, likely from cancer because she has a bald head in the scene where she is dead. Then we learn that Louise is a professor at a college. She comes in to start her lecture, and all these cell phones are going off. People are distracted. Nobody's there. She asks what's going on. They turn to a news channel and find that 12 extraterrestrial spacecraft silently hover over different locations around Earth. The nations send their best military and scientific experts to monitor them. And in the United States, Colonel G.T. Weber recruits Louise at her college because they had some previous project they worked together on, and he knows that she does very great work. So she flies up with them in a helicopter up to Montana, where the spacecraft has landed in the United States. She then meets Ian Donnelly, who is a scientist. He's a physicist of some sorts. Once they get there, they go and they visit the craft, which is just a big, giant oval shape hovering above the Earth. It just looks like a big rock. It's very cool. It's not like technological. It just looks like a big, natural rock. They go up inside. They see the aliens. They are heptapods, meaning they have 7 feet. Louise is there to help discover how they speak and what they're saying to translate their messages. The way they communicate is they put up their hands, which spread out into like an octopus-like structure, and they squirt this octopus-like ink into the air and atmosphere, and it creates a symbol. So they start to communicate through these symbols. They have been there for months, and Louise starts to have these dreams and flashbacks of her daughter. When they have built up enough vocabulary, Louise figures out one of their message means offer weapon. And so China has also deciphered this as use weapon. And so everything goes crazy. China and Russia abandon the project, and everything goes wrong. They're forced to evacuate. In Montana, some soldiers who were not following the rules planted a bomb in the craft when they all go up there. But Louise and Ian are not aware of this. They are just going to give them another extremely complex message. But before the bomb explodes, one of the aliens saves Ian and Louise by knocking them unconscious and out through the bottom of the craft. So then Ian finds out these crazy symbols that they were up there to measure, this really complex map of symbols, means. So it's a bunch of symbols all at once, as opposed to just one symbol. And the writing occupies exactly 1/12 of the 3D space in which it is projected. So then Louise suggests that the full message is split among all 12 of the crafts all on Earth to share to humans what they are here to give us.
Yeah, so then the next part is when she gets taken up in the smaller vessel comes out of the mothership and takes Louise up, and then she communicates directly with the alien, one of the aliens.
Yes, she goes. Previously, they were communicating behind a
pane of glass.
Pane of glass, and this time she is directly inside where the aliens were kept.
Mm-hmm.
She learns that one of the aliens is dying as a result of the explosion that happened. The alien that is left shows Louise all of these crazy memories that Louise doesn't understand, a lot of them with her daughter. These are actually revealed to be premonitions and memories of future events to come. And she understands then that she is to get married to Ian, to have their child Hannah together, and that she has known about this the whole time during this whole process, and she still chooses to go through it even though she knows her daughter will die of cancer in just a short amount of time in her life. And so then Louise comes back down. She is still having these flash forward memories now that we understand. And she envisions herself at this, like a banquet of a bunch of world leaders who come together to celebrate this amazing discovery of the heptapods and the heptapod language and their gift that they gave to humans, which Louise has written a book about and understands as their time. Their time is different, perceived differently, not linearly, and it is given to us so we can understand all that is happening at once. So she is envisioning herself talking to China's General Shang, and he tells her what she needs to know to then fix the situation at hand, because China and Russia and everyone are telling all the ships to go home. But right now she's under a time crunch. She is envisioning her talk with General Shang. General Shang says, "It wouldn't have happened unless you called me at my personal number." And she's like, what's your personal number? And he shows it to her, and she memorizes it while she's in the present time dialing on the phone. And he said, "I will never forget what you said to me." And she's like, on the phone in present time, what do I say? What do I say? And then he whispers something to her in Mandarin, and she says it to him in real time, back in Mandarin. And that is what it takes to get the rest of the countries to believe what's happening and for them to take this more seriously and to bring back the aliens. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so did they ever say in English what his wife's last words were? Because I like the fact that if they didn't, because I didn't see it, I like the fact that they just kind of leave it to your imagination.
Yeah, no, they didn't say. Yeah, the Mandarin phrases he was whispering were his wife's last words to him.
Right.
And yeah, we don't know what it was in English, but I'm sure someone has written it down, like translated it thus far. So
yeah. Then the other thing I wondered that was open to interpretation was when at the very end, like she, because she sees her life with Ian and Hannah, and she sees it in the beginning and then versus the end, and then there's scenes in the beginning where he's not there, and then when she sees the same scenario from the future, the flash forward, again he is there. So I wondered, did he did either she didn't tell him or whatever, but somehow he stayed this time and they didn't split up?
Oh, interesting. I think I took it as they split up probably after. Remember that scene where Louise and Hannah are talking by the river, and she says, "I know something has to do with a disease."
Mm-hmm.
That's why me and your dad split up. And I think that's probably when it happened. So she was maybe 8 at that time, and maybe all the flashbacks, flash forwards we've seen thus up to that point with Ian are before that happens, because we don't see him in like the parts where she's dying.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The parts where she's older. But I do like that idea. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah,
because I think that could be taken that way for sure.
That's kind of how I took it, because like she even says, like, even though this is going to happen and I know how it's going to happen, I'm still going to go through with it. But then I wondered, like, if her experiences with the extraterrestrial life just made her have a different like perspective, because she's kind of doing it all over again in a way. But the ending of this movie just completely blew my mind. Like, the rest of it, I'm like, yeah, this is good. I'm vibing with this. And then the ending started, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is incredible.
Yeah, I have chills right now talking about it, and I had chills for like the whole third act. I was just like, oh my gosh, it's so insane.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just, I love the concept of time, and I don't think for this movie it doesn't take it to such a crazy level of time, some like time travel movies, you know, where you're like, well, if this happened, then what about this, and what about this? It's just like very personal with Louise's story, and it makes sense for her and her family. So I really like that it was kind of a personal story, but also, you know, when you see alien movies, a lot of it would be taking the point of view of like someone in the military, you know.
Yeah.
But this one is the linguist, and I thought that was a really cool protagonist to have.
Yeah.
So then it completely ends with Louise and Ian getting together, and of course starting their life together. I don't know, would you do the same thing she did if you knew?
Oh god. I was thinking about that when that scene was happening, because I was thinking, man, you know, I kind of wish I knew what the next 10 years of my life were like. But then I'm like, well, isn't kind of not knowing everything, because that gives you the choice to decide what you want to do? Because if you've seen it already, it's kind of predetermined and pre-planned out. And that's why I asked if, you know, if things had changed for the second time we see it when Ian is there. Because I'm like, well, it's the predetermined outcome, but at the same time, if she does have free will choice, then would the situation be different based on her newfound knowledge that she's gotten from the situation?
Right. Would it?
But then all of them are flash forwards anyway, so who knows?
Right, and she doesn't understand them at first. She's just seeing these like dreams and visions of herself and this child who she understands to be her daughter, but she doesn't know why they're happening. Yeah. And there's this point where Ian asks her, now that they've been immersed in their language, if she's started to dream in their language, and she really has, because...
Oh, yeah. He did say that.
They take their language doesn't go from start to finish. It's just all encompassing, and that's the way their time works as well.
The editing was just incredible, just all the way through. Just like how there'd be like she'd wake up like in 2 different scenes after the other, and it just jumped between times, but it didn't feel overly confusing. It just kind of felt like, you know, you were just along for it. Yeah,
you were with her and her experience. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I loved how they took their time. I think it was like a half hour. They show other people's reaction, and then they show Louisa's reaction, and then they take their time in building up to what the ships look like, and when they finally do, it's such a profound, like, perfect reveal. First of all, the design is unique, but also just the fact that they build it up and just hide it for so long until the reveal. It's just like this perfect little moment.
Yeah,
and then
I agree.
The first time they were walking up to the, like, in the ship when they first started going into the anti-gravity spacing. We're floating and we're walking on the side of the wall, and then the music was going. I legit got like 2001 vibes, and that was really cool. I don't know if it was any kind of homage or anything like that. Just the general feel of that movie and this movie, like, they kind of have a similar feel. But they're both very good, so, you know.
Yeah, the music, I think, is kind of like that. They just take these crazy swells and really loud, long lasting notes and just kind of like show you this vast scene that's happening that I think ties the two together. Yeah, well, in Montana when the fog and the clouds are like settling in the valley right where the ship is, it's so beautiful.
It's incredible. It's visual art. That's exactly what it is.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's funny because I've had other movies that use a similar kind of like score where it's just more like those long sustaining notes and kind of like sounds. I've had other movies where they've used that and it just doesn't really click with me. Like it's just not something I really like very much. But for this movie, I felt it fit really well because it had this otherworldly sense to it for obvious reasons.
So I have the Blu-ray version of this and it came with a bunch of bonus features and one of them is how they make all those crazy sounds and like the alien sounds and everything. I don't really remember how they do it, but it's very unique. And it's very interesting. They take like these analog tapes from old recorders and they manipulate them somehow to create a digital sound, which is crazy. So it's very cool.
We're just kind of in awe. We're just kind of spitballing thoughts, but that's how our sessions usually go.
Yeah.
We're calling them episodes, but we really should just call them sessions. Just be like Cowboy Bebop and just be like session 1, session 2.
This is sessions. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so this is session 12. Welcome to session 12. Not to be confused with section 12. This is session 12. I thought that when she said it's like 1 in 12, I thought for a second that when like the alien and the ship left, I thought that all 12 were gonna like combine into one ship for a little bit. Which I'm kind of glad that didn't happen because I feel like that's been done before. But also I thought that would have. I was thinking like with the shape of the ship and everything, like if you put all of them together, it like forms something. But then I'm like, well, they're all the same shape, so I don't know.
Yeah, they would just be like a stack of rocks. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm sure maybe with their alien magic, they could create something cool.
It's a stack of rocks, and then we pan out, and then that's like someone's rocks on a beach, and someone picks up one of the rocks, and then it turns out like that this is Earth, and that's like a micro. We've been watching like a micro version of Earth, and it's like that kind of like twist, like the Rick and Morty episode or something. Like
holy crap!
That's where it could have gone. Anyway,
that would be way too much for me. I can't handle when shows and movies go there. Like actually, like Horton Hears a Who even messes me up. Have you seen that?
I don't think so. I don't think I've read the book either.
You don't know the story? So
I know the basis of the story, but I don't know I didn't know there was a twist ending to it. Jeez.
Well, no, there's not. It's just that this whole world of people lives inside this little dust speck that Horton the elephant picks up and he can talk to them.
Oh, okay. See, I was thinking it was like the Grinch where like they just live inside a snowflake.
Well, it's kind of like that, I guess.
The Jim Carrey Grinch, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, because there's Horton Hatches the Egg, and then there's Horton Hears a Who. Oh, wait, so it's the Dr. Seuss literary universe, because it's Whoville, which is where the Grinch is from. Holy shit. That's cool. Oh, duh,
yeah,
Horton Hears a Who,
it all comes together, Dr. Seuss.
So in Horton Hears a Who, it's a dust speck, but in the Grinch, it's a snowflake.
Right, exactly.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, also,
or it's like a little dandelion fluff or something in Horton Hears a Who.
All right. Now we're getting into weird shit. Arrival, perfectly normal. Dr. Seuss, the weird shit.
Crazy shit.
Crazy shit. Cupcakes, oh yeah.
What is that from?
That's Cat in the Hat.
Oh no.
Shout out to Diamond.
I was gonna ask if you might be interested in reading the book that this is based on. It's called Story of Your Life, which I'm really glad they didn't title it Story of Your Life, by Ted Chiang?
I don't know if I would read it, or like I'd be interested in reading it, but I definitely wouldn't like rush out and buy it.
Yeah. It was written in 1998. I wonder how different it is. I mean, the twist is just so good in the movie that reading it might feel like a waste of time for me.
Yeah, me too. The opening of the movie, like the montage with her daughter, really reminded me of Up. Spoilers if you haven't seen Up, but if you haven't seen Up, go home and watch Up, okay? turn off this podcast, go home and watch Up. But spoilers for the Pixar movie Up. That montage reminded me of this opening montage because it kind of showed the lifespan in like in just a few minutes, and it was done so well.
Yeah.
My favorite parts of this movie were the very beginning and the very ending, just because both were done so immaculately.
One of my big questions is, why do we only see her having visions of her daughter and not the rest of her life? I mean, it makes sense for this movie, and it makes it a great movie, so I'm not mad, but I'm just wondering, like, why wasn't it revealed to her that she's married to Ian in the future, and why doesn't she see his death or possibly learn about her death or other people and within her life after the death of her daughter? Maybe because that was the most impactful thing in her life, but I don't know.
That's a valid theory for sure. I think... Oh, what?
Maybe it's because they knew that she could understand what they were trying to tell her if they told her those things, like, in her mind. Ooh. But no, I don't know if that's true, because then she still was confused, because I feel like if they would have showed her Ian, that would have made more sense.
Yeah, I don't know. What I also wondered was, since they say time is non-linear, I wonder if when they show up in like our human time for us versus when because they said we need your help, you need our help now, we need your help then. I'm like, well, I want to see a sequel 3,000 years in the future. None of the actors have to come back for obvious reasons, but the aliens come back. It's 3,000 years later, and then we have to help them. But then I wondered for them if it wasn't like the same trip in a way. Like they're on Earth during our time, and then 3,000 years from now at the same time, because time is non-linear for them.
Oh, you're blowing my mind. Interesting.
Denny, make it happen. Once you're done making all the Dune movies, make that happen. Arrival 2.
Yes. Arrival 2.
Or Story of My Life 2.
There we go.
Yeah, don't call it Arrival 2. Give it like some other name.
Yeah.
Yeah, when going back to what we talked about initially with like the ending and stuff, a lot of the quotes in this movie were really good, but the one that stuck out to me was, if you can see your whole life from start to finish, would you change things? And that goes back to what you asked me, and that's why I thought that's what made me think like that maybe she had changed her mind, and that's why Jeremy Renner was there, because like she did change things with her knowledge, and then that's why he's in her life at the end. But then also, like you said, like the age thing of her daughter, that also makes sense. So I'm not entirely sure. It's
very interesting to think about, though. That's a good point for sure. Because maybe she can.
Yeah, maybe it's a bit of both. Who knows?
Yeah, perhaps.
It's just one of those movies where it's like I feel like I'm still processing. Like I definitely have gone through the emotions, but as far as like how to describe it, I'm still processing that. And like you asked me those questions earlier, and I feel like I'll have even more to say like later on, like a few days from now even. So like it's just one of those movies, you know?
Yeah, it's something that keeps you thinking in the future. Definitely. I always remember this movie, although I haven't seen it in probably a couple years, so I kind of forgot a lot of the scenes, and I really watched it as a film major, I guess, this time, which changed a lot of things for me. Do you remember when we first started film school and we learned all the film things that we didn't know before, like all in the first month? We're like, what? This is how they do that? This is how they do that? And then your view of movies, like how you watched movies, changed forever.
What, you mean movie boot camp? Of course I remember that. Film boot camp.
Yeah. That was crazy, huh?
It was very crazy, but it was also kind of one of the best times of my life.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Because I met so many great people that I wish I still knew all of them as well as I did in those few months.
Yeah.
But hey, we survived.
That's right.
We still watch movies, and apparently enough times that we record a podcast about it. So.
Yes, it's great.
Oh, I thought when you started, I thought you were gonna connect that to like something like with how our friendship, like the genesis of that with like Garden State or something. And then I'm like okay, I'm curious about where you're going with this, but you were just talking in the general sense. I'm like, damn it.
Pretty general. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Speaking of, I didn't think about this during the movie, but when you described the plot, I thought of this. I thought of the first scene when she's like holding it up and it has her name Louise on the paper to show the aliens. I thought of In The Boy Who Could Fly, when Lucy's holding up her name to Eric. And
It's the same.
It didn't cross my mind during the movie, but when
Oh
you
my
when you went
God.
to Wikipedia and you said like she holds up her name and the word human, I'm like, it's the
That's
same
really
thing
funny.
as that movie, and then now I'm like, I want it to be a cinematic universe, so then Lucy can be in
Oh
a
my
rival
God.
too.
Lucy's a lawyer now. She takes things seriously.
Lucy can be in the Dune sequels.
Dude, that would be
I do not know who
sick.
she'd play, but I would. I'm already gonna go see Dune, but like I would go and get flash forwards of Dune Messiah and Children of Dune just so I can see Lucy in those movies.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, but like as we've said, if we ever got Lucy Deakins on here, that would be our final episode because we could not top that. That'd be
Yeah.
that'd be the end of our character arcs.
What if we could get her to do like our intro, like, I'm Lucy Deakins and you're listening to Film Therapy.
I'm Lucy Deakins and you're watching Disney Channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, that would be that's our new goal. Hey listeners, can you all five of you, can you band together and by the way, two of those five are us. Can you band together and like and get Lucy Deakins to come on here and to be our and you're watching Disney Channel person?
Please.
Please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. Anyway, I feel like I didn't have much to say, but I enjoyed the first 2/3. I'm like, this is a good movie, and then the ending just escalated it into this, oh my God, this is like brilliant kind of territory.
Yes, I agree. I can't remember the first time I watched it. I don't think I saw it in theaters. I think I watched it. I probably rented it. Ever since I saw it, I have been in love. So, yeah, and I apologize. I think I said it was on Hulu last week, but it is no longer on Hulu. So we both had to rent it on Amazon this week.
Which is fine.
It's fine. So, do you want to talk about what we've watched this past 2 weeks? It's been 2 weeks since we've recorded.
I rewatched a lot of things. I watched like quite a few things. You go first.
Okay, I've only watched a couple things.
That's why I'm having you go first.
So I watched Captain Marvel for the first time.
Oh, what'd you think of it?
I liked it. I thought it was good. That's pretty much my reaction to any Marvel movie.
What about Endgame? That was your reaction to Endgame?
I liked it. It was good. Yeah, because my boyfriend's parents actually watched every single Marvel movie once quarantine started. So that inspired Noah to watch them. And so he had already watched Iron Man 1. He's trying to go in chronological order of like time, not in the movies that not
in release order.
not in the order that they were released, right? In the time frame. So
he's trying to Star Wars it.
yes. So we started with Captain Marvel because it takes place in 1995. He watched Captain America. That's what he did, because that one takes place in the 40s. You know? So then the next one was Captain Marvel. And then we watched Iron Man 2. It was supposed to go Iron Man 1, but we've both seen that one a few times. So we just skipped Iron Man 2. We watched probably half of that, and he fell asleep because he always falls asleep. And haven't gone back to that one and finished it. We watched Oh Brother, Where Art Thou the other night.
I have never seen it.
I had never seen it either, and he was the one who told me about it because we were listening to this playlist and one of the songs from that movie came on.
Yeah.
It has a really nice soundtrack. It's like folk Americana music. It's really fun. And the movie was actually really fun too. I am off and on with Coen Brothers.
Intriguing.
Some things I like, some things I don't like. And I didn't even actually realize this was Coen Brothers. Sorry, bad me.
No, it's fine. It happens.
And but then I guessed it like from the first like 2 images on the screen. I was like, okay, this has to be Coen Brothers. And it was. So yeah, it had George Clooney, Tim Blake Nelson, this other guy, and some other people. It was good though. I thought George Clooney was really good. My mom actually told me she watched Up in the Air, and
Ooh, really?
She's like, I usually don't like George Clooney because he does this weird head shaking thing when he talks. And I'm like, what? Do you notice that?
Now that you mention it, maybe? No?
Yeah, because I'm like, what are you talking about? And
I feel like it's something I can't unsee now.
I know.
Like, I'm gonna
She's
go
ruined
back and
George
watch Up in
Clooney
the
for
Air.
me.
I'm just gonna watch Up in the Air or like, you know, Batman and Robin, and the whole time I'm just gonna see George Clooney's head like Ocean's 11.
Bobbing around. I don't know.
I love that the 3 George Clooney movies I mentioned are Batman and Robin, Ocean's 11, and Up in the Air. Like,
But yeah, so I was like, okay, Mom, that's cool. But she liked Up in the Air.
Mm-hmm. Did you know
Because she watched it.
Oh, keep going.
Did she watch it on an airplane? She might have watched it on an airplane.
Oh my god, that's perfect. Best way to watch it.
Let me double check that real quick. Let me fact check.
I like most of the Coen Brothers movies I've seen. I've seen like 8 of them. But yeah, like I have not seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I think you'd like it.
I have seen Inside Llewyn Davis, and that has folk type music too, and that was really, really good.
I haven't seen that.
It has Oscar Isaac and Adam Driver and John Goodman and Justin Timberlake.
What?
Yep.
Hey, okay.
Oscar Isaac's like a struggling artist, and he just kind of like, it's like a week in his life. Like he just goes and like sleeps on his friend's couch, and then like goes and plays a venue, and then takes a trip, and then.
I love Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, he's great.
Dune 2021.
Yes, it was gonna be 2020, but 2020 sucked, so they delayed it because it's gonna be a good movie.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Hopefully the theaters are open by then.
Yeah, that'd be great. Come on, get theaters open by October. Like, come on, I gotta see Dune. I gotta see Timothy take on Kyle's role, because if anybody's gonna play a character that Kyle MacLachlan played, it should be Timothy Chalamet, because, you know.
Yes. Do you think he's gonna be like the Tom Cruise of our generation, or like do you think he's gonna kind of phase out when he gets older?
Ooh, good question. I don't know.
I was thinking about that. I'm like, he's like so poppin' right now, but I don't know if he can keep it up.
Well, if the movie's successful, because there's a few books, and the first movie is only half of the first book, so they have a lot of they could make a whole series out of this. If Paul's the protagonist, I know he's the protagonist of at least like the first 3 or so then Timothy could be, you know, in like, let's say like 5-6 movies at least, and then that would carry him. And then if they do the Call Me by Your Name sequel, then he'd be in that. So, but that's not even original stuff. Like, as far as original movies go, I hope that he keeps making those, you know, because how many movies has Tom Cruise been in that aren't sequels?
Right.
So yeah,
Quite a few.
I would love if Timothy continued to act in both original films and in, you know, franchises. Like Dune is like the only franchise he needs, because like
It would be like his Mission Impossible.
yes, exactly. And then his other movies would just be some original shit. But yeah, I hope he sticks around, because he's awesome. He's great.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
I just remembered he was also in Little Women, and he was great in that. He was so good in that movie.
Yeah, he was.
So you watched Captain Marvel. What else did you watch?
That's it. It ended with "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?"
Oh yeah, you also. That's how we got onto yeah. Yeah.
So go ahead. What did you watch?
Yes, I've heard of "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" but I have not seen it yet.
It's on Amazon, I believe, for free.
Okay, here's what I watched. So firstly, there's this actor from the late '90s. He actually his name is Jonathan Brandis, and he's a really underrated actor. And he committed suicide in 2003. And he was an actor, and he also wanted to do some directing. He never got to direct a feature, but he directed a couple short films, and those were on YouTube, so I watched those. So the first one was called Jimmy, Get Out of My House, and it was really funny. And the second one I didn't like as much. It was called The Slane's View Boys, but Jimmy, Get Out of My House is great. It's really funny. I recommend it. But also more people should know about Jonathan Brandis, because like he was actually a legitimately good actor. He just didn't get a lot of roles, and eventually his career just kind of went down, and then, you know, it's really sad. But anyway, I wanted to end on something positive. He's a good actor. He's been in like some 90s movies, not like hugely famous ones, but some pretty good ones. He was the main kid, Bill, the kid that stutters in the 90s version of It. That's who he is.
Okay.
That's what he's been in. That's like his most prominent thing. Anyway, yeah, so I watched those short films. And then I also watched a few movies. Some of them were with my cousin, and some of them were just by myself, because we watch movies all the time. We'll have him on here someday. But a movie. I showed him War Games, because, you know, I love that movie, and he hadn't seen it. And then in return, he showed me Real Steel, which I didn't really care for, unfortunately. But I'm glad that he liked it a lot. I actually have a lot of movies on here that I didn't like. So let the negativity begin.
All right.
I also watched a movie called Mystic River. Have you seen that?
No, but I've heard of it.
It wasn't that it was bad. Like, the acting was incredible, but it was really heavy subject matter for me, and it just kind of dragged on.
Okay.
And then I also watched another heavier movie called Sleepers, and that was really good. It's about these four boys that live in Hell's Kitchen in like the 60s or something. They're just living the good life. And then they accidentally get in serious trouble, commit a crime, and then they get sent to this reform school where the guards there are completely sadistic and abusive. And then it cuts to them as adults, and then they're trying to work the legal system in their favor so they can bring justice to themselves and to the other kids that were there.
Okay.
It has Robert De Niro in it. He plays a priest, and he's the best character in the movie.
Nice.
Brad Pitt is also in it. For 2 years, I've been wanting to see the new Halloween movie, the 2018 one. So I finally watched it, and it was good. I liked it.
You liked it?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was fun. Yeah, well, I saw it in theaters with a bunch of people, and everyone came out, they were like, blah, 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 that sucked. But I was like, I had fun. I don't know what you all are complaining about.
I thought I didn't think it was as good as the original two, but I still thought it was really good. I thought it was good. Mm-hmm. And then in my quest to see every Halloween movie, I watched Halloween Resurrection, which is an abominable piece of shit. Don't ever watch it. And I knew it was bad going in. I had the exact reaction that I thought I would have, which you could say, my thought of it being bad made it bad, but no, you don't ever watch it.
I'm sure you're right.
It's completely disrespectful to Jamie Lee Curtis. Don't watch it. Who was amazing, by the way. No wonder they brought her back for like the fourth time.
Yes.
Yeah, so the only two Halloweens I haven't seen are the remake and the sequel to the remake. So, but I've seen all the other ones.
Okay.
I'm almost done. I got 3 more. The last movie I watched was the original Dracula from 1931. I've been wanting to see that for a long time, and I thought the performance from Lugosi was fantastic, but I could not get into it, so that really is unfortunate.
Is this the one where all the characters are named Paul?
No, that's the Hammer ones with Christopher Lee.
Oh, okay.
That's 3 consecutive sequels in a row where the hero's named Paul and they're all different characters. But then on the flip side, the same studio made the Frankenstein series, and in 3 sequels, the assistant's different character every time is named Hans.
Oh my gosh. What?
And both series have Peter Cushing in them. So
Okay.
speaking of, those are on TCM next week, so I'm going to watch the first film of both of those, neither of which feature a character named Paul, I don't think. So, but I've been wanting to see those for a long time, so we'll see what those are like. So this morning, I turned on this movie called Munich. It's a Steven Spielberg movie, but had his quality of expertise, but I just couldn't get into it.
It's called Eunuch?
Munich, like Munich.
Oh, I've seen that.
Munich,
Yeah.
Germany. Do you remember it? What did you think of it?
I don't think I liked it very much. I took a whole class on Spielberg and watched a bunch of his movies. Munich, I didn't connect to. No.
I think you'd say you're similar. There's just a genre of movies. I don't know what I would call them, but there's just that kind of genre that I just don't connect to. They're just not for me. I can't get into them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then the last movie I watched was I put these out of order, by the way, because I wanted to save this one. The last movie I watched was Runaway Reptar.
Oh,
it was great. The dubbing was incredible, and there's shots where you can see the strings, and it's absolutely beautiful. It was good.
Hold on. What?
What do you mean, what?
Okay, so I was thinking Reptar from Rugrats.
Yeah, Reptar from Rugrats.
Okay, so is it like a claymation thing?
No, it's animated like the series. It's
But there's strings?
It's like a movie within the series. They make like jokes, so, like when they have the model, you can like see the strings, like they animated the strings in, and then they the actors are it's a movie in Tokyo, but then they got English voices to dub over the original quote unquote dialogue, and then they intentionally made the dubbing completely off, and it's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so is it like Tommy and Chucky like playing with Reptar and it's like their movie?
No. So Tommy and Chucky and the crew, they go to the movie at the drive-in, and then they enter the movie. So we see the movie happen with them in it. It wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my favorite Rugrats episode, but it was still pretty good.
Is it just an episode?
Yeah, it's like a really long episode. It was like an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. but it's like a Godzilla movie, but they intentionally like made the dubbing awful and stuff, and it's so funny because they're like, look, Godzilla. The next person talks and there's no dialogue, but their mouth moves over. It's so fun because it's
That's
accurate.
great.
It's so accurate.
Like, what kid is gonna understand that? But of course, we would find such joy in that.
Yes, this is why I miss Hulu, because I want to watch Rugrats.
Oh man.
Just random Rugrats episodes. I might just buy like the early seasons on DVD, like just like the first 2 or 3, just because that's like what I like watching the most for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Runaway Reptar, go watch it. It was on some channel. So yes, you can probably find it on TV or VHS or something. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Wow, what a list you have.
Yeah, I told you it was a long one.
Yeah, that's impressive. I wish I had more time to watch movies.
But
I think I will soon.
But to be clear, probably about a third of those movies I didn't like and didn't finish.
Okay, that's okay.
So if I have a movie where it also varies on the length of the movie, but I often, if I'm not into a movie and I'm like just really bored with it, I will just not keep watching it because I have better things to do with my time, like absolutely nothing, So Munich is like almost 3 hours, and I watched like 45 minutes, and I'm like, I'm not gonna keep watching this.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Because which was this morning, and it's like, like part of me is like, well, I started the movie with that mindset, but also like, who gives a shit,
Mm-hmm. Like, if you don't like it, you don't need to waste your time.
Yeah, exactly. I got other movies to watch, like like Runaway Reptar and and Sleepwalkers again. And
Sleepwalkers again.
That should be a movie. Why is that not a movie? Hollywood, make it happen.
Sleepwalkers again. That's a great sequel name. Again.
Sleepwalkers Chapter 2.
To sleep, to walk.
Oh, damn it. You beat me to it.
Ah, I beat ya.
Sleepwalkers Fallen Kingdom. The Sleepwalkers Strike Back.
Oh my god. That's a good one. That makes sense.
Return of the Clovis. That'll be the trilogy.
Oh! Okay, so exciting news. We have emails.
Yes, we do. We have emails. People, please send emails. It takes 5 minutes. And if you want to be anonymous, we will keep you anonymous. Confidentiality is everything in therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to each read one, or?
Sure.
So this first one we got, I'm going to read the email. Quote, so our parents have been pressuring my husband of 3 years and me to have kids. We are in our early 30s, but we just want to get a dog. How do we get our parents off our back? Thanks for the help. Well, thank you for the email. That was very kind of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have you tried communicating with them about it? Well, first of all, a dog is a wonderful thing. I mean, my dog, well, she's not here now, but she was sitting on my bed for the majority of us recording this episode. Yeah, I mean, and please keep in mind, we're not licensed therapists. We're not licensed professionals, as the opening clearly states. So take everything we say with a grain of salt. And if you are having a serious problem, please just go. I know it's hard during these times, but if you can find a fair therapist, even if it's virtual, go and do that if that's what you need.
But I mean, I did learn a lot in my classes at the University of Wyoming. And in some of these classes, they talked about interpersonal communication. And this class taught me a lot about the importance of communication. But you know what? In these times, I don't think I would want to bring a child into the world, especially right now. I mean, in a couple years, things could be completely different. And I think now is an especially great time to get a dog. So I would definitely want you to get a dog, or I would definitely advise you to get a dog. And yeah, just tell your parents, hey, you know what? It's not our time right now. Things are different.
I couldn't have said it better. That was very exquisite, elegant. That was very good advice.
No, it's so general.
I will jump on the bandwagon, and maybe I'll fill in what you were gonna say. But if I don't, you can cut me off like I just cut you off. Yeah, I mean, and even though it is a lot of work if you both want a dog and you're both willing to commit to getting one, it just makes all the difference in the world. The dog that my family has just been such a godsend. It's just been so wonderful, and she's our favorite thing in the world for all of us, and just makes each and every day brighter. Always happy to see you when you come home, which you never take for granted, especially when you're having a shitty day. So yeah, if that's what you two want to do, then by all means go ahead and do it. You know, it's your life, it's not theirs. You know, so yeah.
That's right. I'm trying to think of some movies.
Yeah,
that
me
could
too.
maybe help.
I'm trying to think of one.
And you've only been married 3 years. I mean, some people I realize get started really soon, even before they're married. But 3 years is not a whole lot of time to just have with you and your husband. And if you want to get a dog, that's a completely new adventure to start with you and your husband as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need to be bringing kids, especially from peer pressure. You could maybe talk to them about that and say, do you want me to have a kid just because you want to? Because I don't see anyone stopping you from going out and adopting a baby. So.
Damn. Shooting back with fire today.
Savage. So what kind of dog should they get?
Well, I think that depends on your personal preference, because for me, I'm definitely more of a small dog person, because the dog I have is the smallest thing, but that's also what makes her so part of what makes her so adorable. But if you want more like a big dog that can run long distances and shit like that, then by all means, you know, get whatever you want.
I love big dogs.
I'm not a big dog person. I don't like big dogs. But that's a me personal preference. It has nothing to do with.
Maybe they should get a big dog and a small dog.
And then they can be friends.
Yeah.
It can be like Homeward Bound.
Yeah.
Or get a dog and a cat and it'll be Milo will notice.
Or you can also tell your parents that you are going to have a kid and fake your pregnancy.
Oh, jeez.
And then keep them going for at least 9 more months until you tell them that it was fake. Oh, my mom did watch Up in the Air on an Airplane. Just to confirm that. I was going to say, they can also fake a pregnancy, then give birth to a puppy.
Maddie, this isn't Stuart Little, okay? Oh, watch that. Watch Stuart Little. There you go. That's your recommendation.
You know, that's a good one. Mm-hmm.
Watch both Stuart Little 1 and 2, because they're both good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Stuart Little.
I haven't
there
seen
you go.
those in so long.
Anyway, so shall I read the next one? She comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 problems. So the first one is, I am moving and I know my cat is not going to be happy about it. Secret Lives of Pets is not an acceptable answer.
Thank you. Thank you. Don't
That's
watch
from
that
CA.
movie. Don't watch that movie. Thank
Oh,
you,
I like that
anonymous
movie.
viewer. Sorry, Maddie. Thank you, anonymous viewer. Do not watch that movie. Do not watch any Illumination movies. They're not good. I'm sorry. Hot take.
Oh my. Wow. That's a lot. So, I think what you need to do, CA, first of all, congratulations on your move.
Oh, yeah. Good things. Congratulations on your move.
That's very exciting. I think if you have an optimal amount of time between moving from place to place, or if you're not just moving within one day, or it would be good to take your cat over to the new house for a little bit, just to hang out, and then take it back home, have some quality time there, then take it back to the new place, maybe with some more furniture in it, then take it back home, and then just kind of familiarize it a little bit here and there so it becomes more comfortable. And then I think you need to buy lots of new toys and catnip and treats so it can be happy and kind of be distracted while you have moved and while you're working and everything.
Yeah. I have 2 movie recommendations. Actually, 3. I would, because if I remember correctly, this would work. I'd honestly recommend watching Homeward Bound. Because isn't that what it's about? They're moving and that's how they get separated?
I think they just go on a vacation.
Or am I thinking of a different movie? What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of the movie where, like...
Well, Air Bud. Well, no.
That's a dog.
I mean, Air Bud's kind of like that because they move into the house and the stray dog comes up. But it doesn't have to deal with a pet who is comfortable in their own space and then is moving to a new place. But that's kind of what Homeward Bound is, yeah, because it's a good out of comfort zone for your pet, you know.
Yeah, so that's my recommendation. Either one of them. If you want to watch both of them, go ahead. Definitely the first one.
What's your joke one?
My joke one was either not the 2019 movie, but the original musical Cats, or Cat in the Hat, or Sleepwalkers. And that one is
I
serious.
was gonna say Sleepwalkers.
Sleepwalkers, please, CA. Like legitimately, if you want to watch Homeward Bound to Air Bud, that's fine. But watch Sleepwalkers because it's a great movie.
The cat is the hero, and that can make any cat feel at home.
Mm-hmm. Damn, that's actually a legit reason. Good job.
If you want to watch Too Cute on Hulu, have you seen that offered? It was on Animal Planet. I think it's like a show with just like a bunch of puppies and kittens running around. And so maybe you can put that on for your kitty when you're at work.
That sounds amazing. I want to watch that right now. Like, that sounds great.
It's too cute. Okay, so her next question is from the perspective of her cat. And her cat says, my workplace keeps having reductions in force that don't make sense. Office space is not acceptable.
Hold up. This is from their cat?
This is from their cat.
My workplace keeps having reductions in force that don't make sense. Well, what's your workplace like? Okay. Can't say office space. Movie-wise.
Workaholics always inspires me, but that's a show.
I was going to say The Office, but that's a show.
True.
Movies. Isn't there a movie called, like, Office Christmas Party or something like that?
Probs?
Okay, yeah, it exists. Let's see what it's about. Jason Bateman, Jennifer Aniston. Okay, so it's about a bunch of people who just need to enjoy some time at the office during Christmas, so they throw an office Christmas party. That's the plot.
Okay.
I don't know what that has to do with.
I mean, that would mean that you, cat, the cat's name is Socks. Socks, you can just try to throw as many parties as you can while still putting it under the guise of as working. You know what I'm saying? So you could be like, I think that we should have an office get together to inspire team building, and then kind of make it like a retreat or like do something fun. And then, but as far as it having reductions, I wouldn't even talk to your supervisor about it. I would just be like, try as much as you can to do what those people who are being let go aren't doing. I mean, honestly, CA and Socks, you could watch Up in the Air because
yes,
that has some good themes.
I was going to bring that up, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to. So, but I'm glad you brought it up because that did cross my mind. There's also a movie called Glengarry Glen Ross. That's another movie I would recommend.
Okay, I've heard of that.
It's very, very good. It's really about the frustrations of being in an office and not being able to really trust your coworkers.
Okay, that's perfect.
Mm-hmm. And if you just want a fun, dumb movie, I'd recommend The Secret of My Success with Michael J. Fox. And that's a movie where he goes to work with his uncle, and he ends up kind of running his office secretly. And it's just kind of a goofy comedy about Michael J. Fox trying to run his uncle's office without his uncle knowing it. So, Also,
okay,
it has Helen Slater in it, who played Supergirl.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So
the third problem is from somebody named Liz, and she says, the Republican Party is racist. That is it.
I don't know if we want.
I know that's a major problem today.
I don't know if we want to go there.
I don't want to go there. Let's recommend a movie. We won't even address that situation.
No, you don't want to recommend a movie?
Let's recommend a movie. Have you seen Vice?
I've heard of Vice.
It's really good. It's about Dick Cheney. It's really funny, and it taught me a lot about the Bush administration, but in an easy way that I could understand, because I don't do politics. Okay, I don't do it.
Yeah, me neither.
But by the way, go vote, everybody.
Yeah, do it. I haven't seen it, but there's a movie called The Campaign with Will Ferrell.
Oh,
I don't know if it's any good, but
have I seen that? I don't think I have.
And then hey SpongeBob, what's with all the ruckus? And then there's the South Park movie, which is all about what is it even about? I forget. Let me see. Yeah. So it's all about the U.S. versus Canada. So if you want to see the U.S. feel united, watch the South Park movie, or just watch Independence Day. because that's actually about uniting the U.S.
We've got two more things here.
That's cool.
This person, she's funny. She says, "My cat takes naps in the cutest positions, comma, I can't stand it." From bot, comma, not a bot. So thank you, bot.
Thanks.
I can't stand it either. It's a really hard thing us humans have to deal with.
Oh my
And
God.
I'm really sorry.
I can't relate except for the fact that that's how my dog is. Like I said before, she was literally curled up on my bed right behind me for about 40 minutes of this episode, and just yeah, it's
So cute. Animals are so cute.
It's such a problem. Like, God, why do they have to do that?
I know, it makes it so hard to get out of bed in the morning. I don't, honestly, probably a good movie recommendation is like The Fault in Our Stars, because it's just the same thing. It's just something it's just so hard to deal with, and it'll make you cry sometimes, but you got to get through it.
God damn. I did not expect you to give that as a recommendation at all. That's well played. I mean, you're absolutely right. It's such a good movie. That's such a good movie. I was going to recommend Milo and Otis, but yeah, Fault in Our Stars. Go with that. Cry a little. Although if you
just cry a little.
Yeah, just cry a little. If you don't want to cry too much, then don't watch Grave of the Fireflies, because you'll bawl after that.
I still have not watched that, and I don't really want to, but I kind of do.
Yeah. I've seen it, and I don't know if I want to see it again, but I might, because you want to see it and Tuan wants to see it. So what we'll do is we'll find something super happy to watch after to counter it.
Good idea.
But honestly, if I tried watching it again and it got to be too much, I would just turn it off.
The last situation is, my apartment is really dirty, but I'm not going to clean it, for goodness sake. That's from Messy.
Hey, Messy, watch Up in the Air. It's about a man who doesn't like his apartment.
Or you could hire someone, or even your friend. Maybe if your friend really likes to clean and is a clean person,
Type
you
A.
can come ask them to clean it, and you can buy them dinner for a week or pay them $50 or something.
I'll clean it.
And then you can also hang out while you're doing it, and then maybe that'll kind of motivate you to clean while they're there.
That's a really good idea. Good job.
What's another? Oh, you know what else? What other apartment is really messy is the apartment in Fight Club.
Yeah, it is.
That's pretty gross.
Just two dudes living in a gross apartment, trying to start a club that we can't talk about.
And they don't clean it at all, and they survive.
Yeah, they survive.
They're doing fine.
They're doing fine. Kind of.
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
There's an episode of Friends where where Ross is going out with this beautiful woman, and he goes back to her apartment, and it's a terrible mess. And then he doesn't know what to do, so he goes to Joey for advice. So, yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I don't remember what else happens in the episode, but that's all I remember is like he goes in the apartment and it's messy as hell. So
thank you, CA, Socks, Liz, Bot, Not a Bot, and Messy, for writing in. I really appreciate it. That was
thank you very
set of
much.
scenarios.
And the other person who sent to, we very much appreciate.
Yes.
All of your emails. We very much appreciate all of your emails. Please keep sending them. We love doing that. That was really fun. Even if you know us personally, like whether you do or don't, just feel free to, send us an email.
Mm-hmm. Anytime. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to this session 12.
Yeah, session 12.
Okay, let's watch The Nightmare Before Christmas next.
So go home and watch Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, you beat me to it. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great movie. It's a Halloween movie. It's a Christmas movie. It's a Thanksgiving movie because it's sandwiched in between those two holidays.
Mm-hmm. It'll be perfect.
Did we watch that one time already?
Yeah, we did.
We did? Yeah, okay, I thought so. Yeah, so we're going to watch it again. Which, has that ever happened? Have we ever watched a movie twice together?
I don't know. I don't think
First
so.
time. First time for everything. First time for everything. Yeah, so Nightmare Before Christmas next week. It's a short movie. It's on to Plus, I guarantee it. Let me look it up just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
It should be on to Plus because it's a Touchstone film. Yeah, it's on to Plus.
Yay.
So go to the Plus if you have it and go home and watch Nightmare Before Christmas. And yeah, we'll see you here next week.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. Go out and vote.
Go vote.
Go vote.